Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another fun-filled episode. No Kieran again, but we got, I don't want to say better, but different. I feel like I say this every time Kieran's out. He's not better. Our replacement's just different. We're talking their team's playoff hopes dwindling with their coach late in the seasons. Dynasties are dead, according to Lane Kiffin. LSU never actually fired Brian Kelly, and a whole lot more, and a bunch of shenanigans, probably more than usual with this guest. But let's just get rocking and rolling and get into it. They're eating the dogs, Kieran, in Tuscaloosa.
They're eating the
dogs.
dogs.
You know that?
They were
They're
eating
the dogs.
Oh, a meth raccoon.
Yeah.
Just awful. There is nothing good about this. It's the worst possible scenario for the CFP, for the national championship.
Notre Dame is a mid-program with really good marketing.
And the Michigan players are going to look at that, and anybody who's committing to Michigan in the next years will just go, I want to beat them even more. Like, I wanted to beat them when I first came to this school. Recruits are going to see this.
You have, as some fans have put it, a mascot flashing their pop tussie out.
Oh, God, that's going to be part of our intro next year. Oh,
I didn't say his name, so it'd be a surprise. We have Jared from the corner booth. I say this every time he's on the show, the person who got me involved at Belly, the person who got me into podcasting. So all your angry DMs and comments, direct them towards Jared. This is all his fault. Jared, how you doing, bud?
I'm good. I'm used to people sending me angry DMs and blaming things on me, so it's not really an issue, I guess. But I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to defend my Hurricanes somewhat and make fun of Syracuse. So, yeah.
That's fair. We did talk about it last week with DJ. If you did not see that, go watch it, even though a lot of that news is old at this point. It's still a lot of fun. A lot of fun shenanigans. And you can look at our betting picks again, which we did pretty well on. But the Mario Cristobal, November and December struggles. I think, 4-11 at Miami in the months of November and December.
5-11, but yeah, sure, on point there now.
Not great. How nervous are you about that?
Well, here's the thing, Kev. There is like, I'm in a unique position. My pro football team's pretty damn good. You know, they got a win last night. Their defense basically shut the door on the Packers. So it's a nice consolation. And after our loss to Louisville and our loss to SMU, which I have never once, I blame the refs a lot, obviously, but I've never once just literally sat there and had my friends who always make fun of me for making fun of the refs tell me, bro, the refs are rigging this. I'm like, y'all think I'm crazy. But after those two losses, Carson Beck's interception that I will defend Beck, there was obvious pass interference on the primary read on that route. And when he got taken away and they weren't calling it, Beck tried to get rid of the ball or try to fit in somewhere, and that's what the interception happened. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's ancient history. I also could complain about the fact that CFB is so anti-ACC. Miami literally could go undefeated and they try to find a way to keep them out of the playoffs. College football to me is just giving me so much headache this year. I'm kind of just like, I would rather us just be like that annoying team nobody can get rid of at this point. So, I mean, we play NC State this weekend, and then I believe we have their final two on the road. One against my old friend Pat Narduzzi, and then the other one I believe is Virginia Tech. But listen, I'd love to win out, make the ACC playoff game, and just wreak some havoc. I want a shot at Georgia Tech, obviously. Last year, just miserable. So, and here's the kicker, Kev. It's Miami's. Their two losses, they've beaten themselves. And it's not. They took number 10 Notre Dame to the woodshed for most of that game. Then they pulled the foot off the gas and Notre Dame started coming back. Then they took Florida, South Florida, and they played all these great teams early in the season. Everyone was losing their minds. And now it's like everyone's like, they had a couple slip-ups in the ACC that were really kind of questionable, and that's like, oh, they're dead. It's like, did I just flash into a new season? Like, when my frustrations with the CFP are very well documented. I think we had this conversation over text last year when Indiana got in, and we thought there were like 4 or 5 other teams that deserved it better, especially after they got mollywopped. But I think right now with Miami, the biggest key is just health. They got a bunch of guys in and out injury. utilizing their best weapons offensively and defensively, and just getting back to what they did early in the season. They were playing with attitude. They were playing with a little swagger. They're beating teams up. And to be honest with you, against Syracuse, that's what they did. They got their stuff right around halftime. They're like, all right, well, we got to figure this out. They come out of halftime and just start blowing the brakes off of them. So I think Miami's coming back to earth. I think it's almost better that they lost those 2 games, or maybe at least one of those games earlier in the season, because I think in the back of their minds, they hear the same things we're hearing about, 4-11 or 5-11 in December and November, and it's got to eat at these guys because they know they can play better, and they're playing a schedule, to be honest with you, is not that hard. I think their hardest game besides the ACC title game, if they make it, is probably Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. So I'm kind of sitting here like, all right, well, Miami's not going to be ranked in the top 5, so Pitt's not going to be able to take them out. And just kind of just survive and advance. Win by as much as you can and move on. You can't, honestly, as a fan of this, you can't even look at it from the standpoint of, oh, my God, the collapse is coming, because, it might happen, but you can't think about it like that, or else you're not going to be able to enjoy the fact that this team actually might do something. I still think it's the best Miami team I've watched as a fan of their team. Remember, I became a Miami fan after the 2014 season. So, I've never really seen a good Miami team. So it kind of became like this thing of 2017 and 2020 were fun, but they weren't a complete team. This Miami team's, when Carson Beck even plays remotely well, they're probably the best Miami team I've ever watched play. But, I don't know what Carson Beck
That's the problem, though. And you did go back to it, or you said earlier, kind of, they beat themselves in these games. That is the Carson Beck experience. When he's playing well, he looks like maybe not the best quarterback in the country, but a guy who will become the best quarterback in the country. He shows those flashes.
Yeah.
But then he goes out there and throws 4 picks, whether or not one of them might have been pass interference on a different receiver. That's still 3 picks that he probably shouldn't have thrown. Yeah. And that's just, and going back to Georgia, this has always been a big issue with him, and in his personal life, cheating on a Cavender twin. Poor decision making.
I feel like getting rid of her, though, is probably better for his psyche.
Breaking up with her side, cheating on her. That's
no, I'm not condoning the cheating. Let me make that very clear. But, dude, those 2 are bad news if you're a pro athlete. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm all for, marketing, branding, and making money for yourself and having a career and everything else. But, dude, everything, when it's their vlogs and their TikTok, it's if I'm an NFL GM and I'm looking at Carson Beck, I'm honestly kind of happy he's not with this girl because, at least Jake Ferguson was drafted before he met her. If I'm seeing this, it's not like Livy Dunn and, what's his face? Paul Skeens, where it's all cute and adorable and lovey-dovey, right? It's kind of weird. She's bashing him on, High Trump's, live stream and doing all these weird and just acting so weird. And it's just a breakup. You're not the first girl to get cheated on. He's probably not the last guy to get cheated. It's people, unfortunately, in our generation is obviously more prevalent, but I'm not trying to get into a whole dating philosophy here, but it's they're just a relationship of 2 high worth athletes in collegiate sports. It sucks for both of them that it went down that way, but in Carson Beck's since he's honestly had a pretty good season. Yeah, the interceptions they could deal without, but Miami's, if they win out, they probably are in the ACC title game. If they win that, they're definitely in the playoffs. So they're still in charge of their own destiny. It's just kind of it wasn't a great look, but at the same time, it's dude, that's his personal life. I don't care. It's it's not me. It's not my not my friends. It's not my sister. It's not. It's if I'm my head coach or I'm a general manager watching these games play right now, I'm like, okay, there's less baggage around Beck now. Oh my God, the worst thing is he's got his Lambo stolen. Okay, great. Now, can he go out and win Miami a playoff game, or go out and get Miami to a bowl game and actually win? So that's what I care about, honestly, now. As a Miami fan, I was kind of just relieved almost. It's oh, great, less distraction. I don't know. The whole famous girlfriends thing in sports has always kind of bugged me. Look at the last couple quarterbacks who have won Super Bowls. I mean, we see Jalen Hurts' wife once every 6 months. She pops up. I only know her name because of Eagles coverage stuff, right? And Patrick Mahomes' wife, yeah, she's outspoken, but she's just his high school sweetheart. I mean, yeah, you had Giselle and Brady. Giselle and Brady was like
We
the
haven't
exception.
We still haven't seen Rogers' wife. It's been 5
I mean,
months.
I feel like he got engaged to the ether. Like, there's no actual woman there. It's a
No.
collective imagination theory. I don't know.
It, it's an imaginary woman he saw on an ashwagandha trip or something. But moving out of the NFL and away from Miami,
is like a relaxation route.
moving away from Miami, staying in the ACC though, Pat Narduzzi was talking about Pitt's upcoming game against Notre Dame, and was asked, "Do you feel it's a must-win game?" Now, we'll get into more of the ranks later. Pitt is ranked 22nd, so they need to win as much as possible to have a chance to get the playoffs. He said, absolutely not. It is not an ACC game. I'd gladly get beat 103 or 110 to 10. They could put 100 up on us as long as we win the next two after that. I don't care what the rules say about highest ranked conference champions. Pitt's not going to be the highest ranked conference champion if they lose 110 to 10. They're not making, if a team makes the college football playoffs and lost by 100 points that season, I am done watching college football.
I'll be right there with you. I'm done. Listen, the committee, we talked about this committee was a bunch of boneheads last year anyway, but dude, I hate full disclosure to the listeners who don't know me. Kevin knows this. It's been very well documented. I hate Pat Narduzzi. I despise him almost as much as I despise Fran Brown. I really do. I think he's kind of an arrogant prick, but I'm not going to defend this guy. So that would the butt was he's still a football coach and Pitt's still ranked. But the issue is that, dude, if you get roped like that, you're dropping out of the rankings. I don't care where you're ranked in the ACC. Tiebreakers alone, like points against versus points for, like they'll still put Virginia, Miami, or Georgia Tech in ahead. Or you're dumb. What? Like, why? I don't. The comments to me come off so stupid, and it just kind of just is the most vintage Pitt thing I've ever seen in my life. You know, you and me have always made jokes about Pitt and how they're just a strange program. Like, this just summarizes them in a nutshell. Oh, you know, we're playing a nationally ranked team. You know, one of our interconference rivals, Miami, took them out. You know, they've only lost to Miami and Texas A&M. It's like, oh, whatever. It's like, you get blown up by 100, you're out of the playoff. I don't care. It's like they won't put you in regardless. So, and also another loss basically knocks them down tiebreakers. To me, the whole thing is stupid.
It's an insane look. If you want to keep your team loose and go, I wouldn't call it a must win. We do have 2 ACC games. If we finish out the ACC season strong, make the ACC championship, then we can get in that way. It'll be a successful season. But saying it doesn't matter is not keeping your team loose. It's just kind of treating them or telling them basically, yeah, you don't have to care going into this game. And we've talked about Notre Dame.
Mentality of it. I really don't. That's what's bugging me.
Yeah, no, it's. I think that's the issue with a lot of these schools, and Pitt's kind of the main example of this, just because it's front of mind. But yes, Pitt is not a national powerhouse. They're not ever going to be a blue blood, but they're never going to have the success that could make that an interesting conversation with their history. If you ever coach going, yeah, we can lose by 100, it very much matters, Pat. Yeah. If you lose by 100, and I know Jared probably doesn't want you to hear this and understand it because he'd love to see you guys lose by 100, but I hope this gets through your head. You cannot lose by 100 and you could go 12-1, and that one loss could be by 100. That is not a successful season. That is embarrassing.
Also, them getting blown by 100 by Notre Dame makes Miami's win over Notre Dame even more impressive. So, yeah, Pat, lose by 100. Go for it.
I would also like to say we've talked about Notre Dame a lot on this episode. Ugh. Last week I said Miami needs to start winning or Louisville needs to start just dominating because that Miami win is going to look worse as Miami has these struggles. And a lot of people on TikTok are like, well, why is the Miami loss a good loss for Notre Dame, but the Miami win is not a good win for Louisville? And that's an easy answer. Notre Dame has really good marketing, so they're going to get the benefit of the doubt. Louisville does not. They have Lamar Jackson, and he's been out of there for 8 or 9 years at this point, so they're not going to get the benefit of the doubt. And that's really why. That's what it comes down to.
Bobby P. Hate Watch. Here we go.
Uh,
I just honestly, one of my always my backup costumes every year, so I just never want to go clean shaven. Is like I would love to just show up one of these days for a Halloween show with the Bobby P neck brace on and just sit there in a red jacket, and just try. We had my girl put like some scar makeup on my face or something, just sitting there looking just miserable.
do it.
I think it's next year's costumes
Yeah.
goes Bobby Petrino. I mean, listen, I could walk around with a box of tissues and say we beat Miami last year on it, my T-shirt for Fran Brown, but there's certain obstacles with that costume. I will say this though, with Notre Dame, it's just they've had an odd season, man. That's the best way I could summarize it. Just an odd season. We were talking about eliminating them from the college football playoff like literally a month ago, and now it's like, nope. They're 10th in the country again, or 8th, or whatever. I think the CFP rankings just came out. So,
Yeah, no, we'll get into that later. But we're going to stick in the ACC for now. It's another team you hate, the Florida State Seminoles. Mike Norvell making some fiery comments to media. I'm fully aware the outside narrative around our team is not good. Around me is probably not good. That's fine. That will not affect the job that I'm going to show up and do. I'm going to pour everything I have to this team with a championship expectation. I've actually won a championship, and we're going to do it again. We're going to do it here. That might piss people off. So be it. First off, when did Mike Norvell win a championship? I looked at his Wikipedia quick. He won a Gulf South Conference championship as a member of the Central Arkansas Bears. But other than that, graduate assistant at Central Arkansas, graduate assistant at Tulsa, and then passing game coordinator at Tulsa for 2 years, offensive coordinator at Pitt for a year, Arizona State OC, Memphis head coach, Florida State coach. When the hell did you win a natty, Mike?
I was trying to go back. I was hoping like maybe he was like a grad assistant for like Ohio State or something like that. That's where he got. No, he's just. I think he's talking about as a player, or maybe he's trying to refer to Florida State because they won a national championship back like 12 years ago now. But like, damn, the Jameis victory was 12 years ago. Wow. But here's the kicker for me, right? It's like I don't know what's funnier, the fact that he said they've won a title before, or that they're going to win one with him under contract. Dude, I don't think they want to bring you back past next year, man. Like, back-to-back seasons of you literally looking like hot garbage. And your only 2 quality games where you gave Miami a little bit of a run and then you upset Alabama. That's it.
Yeah, it's as much as we say to Pat Narduzzi, like, come on, have a little pride. Don't lose by 100. Mike, lower, opposite ends of the spectrum. Lower your expectations. I love that journey for you, pal, but there's no way you're getting tickets to that show. Florida State will not win another natty as long as they are paying Mike Norvell's buy-in, let alone have him under contract.
It's north of 60, isn't it still? It's big.
It's massive.
Because he got that extension, right? That's the problem.
He got that huge extension 2 years ago when Saban retired because Florida State was scared that he would bounce to go to Alabama. So he got a massive, $59 million is his buyout. If he's fired after the year, it goes down to 53.
Oh, big swinger. And then after next year, it is going down only like 47. Like him basically completing this deal is the only way he's going to get that thing paid off.
Yeah, it's not good. Florida State fans, please do not put any stock into what Mike Norvell says. Lower expectations. That man is clearly going through a mental break brought on by his own incompetence as a head coach.
You could have told me this was Dabo Swinney saying this. I would have probably always thought it was more believable.
No, 100%. No, Dabo, I've made jokes about it on the show. Dabo should not be fired by Clemson. Another school, maybe, but Dabo at Clemson.
Dabo gets Paterno level like clemency at Clemson, because without Dabo, this program's just Taj Boyd and a couple decent receivers.
Yeah, it's no one's really talking about them on the national stage. It's just he says little old Clemson is a joke. It would just be little old Clemson still.
Yeah, so he's not wrong. They just had a couple great years. They won a couple national titles. They were nationally relevant for a decade and a half. He's earned his flowers. He basically has now said to the university, like, I say when I go, I've earned that right, which I think Dabo, as much as I can't stand Dabo or Clemson, I think he has earned that right, so I will agree there. But with Mike Norvell, this is hilarious because, like, brother, dude, like, I forgot you were the head coach. I miss Willie Taggart. At least Willie was entertaining on the microphone, but just even worse coaching.
Yeah, it's bad. But yeah, that's probably the most we've talked about the ACC in one episode all season.
You're welcome.
Eh,
I hate them too. It's okay.
But we'll move on to a different conference, but another firing. Brian Kelly. LSU has come out and said they never officially fired him because LSU says Woodward did not have the authority to fire him. The athletic director did not have the authority to fire the head coach. And now they're saying they're going for a for-cause dismissal, something they have not even brought up the possibility of. Now, look, I don't like Brian Kelly. I think he's a terrible person. But to say for cause, you need to actually have a cause. It can't just be...
Notre Dame had for cause. Like, if we want to go back in that way, was the incident we've referred to 1,000 times on your show, was that Notre Dame?
That was at Notre Dame, yes.
And Notre Dame has a for cause. LSU, unless you count bad accents or what he did to that poor kid who had the brain, I think it was brain disease, right? The poor kid.
Yeah. And but even then, not necessarily his fault. Just he's a terrible person.
Oh yeah, he's a colossal piece of garbage, and it's karmic retribution what's happening to him. But LSU, I swear to God, they literally just need headlines because this sounds so. It almost sounds like a sitcom like plot twist. Like, that's what it feels like to me. It's like, oh, we didn't officially fire him. He really didn't have the authority. So we're going to look for an act because they don't want to pay his buyout. Isn't his buyout like it's north of what Norvell's was? It's got to be like in the 60s.
It's 53 from what I'm seeing currently. I've seen like 53 to 54.
Okay, so it's off by $7 million.
But for a public institution, I know boosters pay that, but it's still insane. And the contract does include for-cause termination clause, but there has to be a material and substantial NCAA rule violation, being convicted of a felony or any crime involving gambling, drugs, or alcohol,
or engaging on themselves. They're going to try to suicide death penalty themselves.
Engaging in serious misconduct, which either displays a continual serious disrespect for the mission of LSU or constitutes moral turpitude. Now, LSU, SEC, football is really important to them. Could they argue in front of a judge that Brian Kelly sucking at his job is serious misconduct, displaying a continual serious disrespect for the mission of LSU? Could that be an argument we see?
I mean, I don't think that you can't. There are so many. That's so many different ways. That's not a lie. That's not even like feasible in court, circumstantial. But like, dude, the jokes that could be made about this, like them, like self-reporting violations from recruiting and stuff just to get Brian Kelly fired. Oh my Lord, I would just roll for this. Or having like a co-ed like they sent over to Brian Kelly's room or whatever, like to go show him around campus, nothing bad obviously, and say like, oh, he was rude and inappropriate to me or something like that, or like one of the tour guides. Like co-ed's the wrong word for it. You can delete that, Kevin.
I don't edit anything.
Oh crap! I'm gonna die. Anyway, like it's fine.
No, but no.
Yeah, but you get my point though. Like all the inappropriate, horrible things you could think of a coach doing. Like there's some way to prove something, right? Like, there's got to be something before like saying, "Oh, he just sucked at his job." I feel like that's a layup. There's so many comedic opportunity here. You could really do some fun stuff here.
Yeah, and this also came out retroactively saying it was for cause. Came out after they emailed Brian Kelly offering a $25 and a $30 million buyout, which he refused both of. So it's really just, well, we don't want to pay this, so we're going to say it was for cause. I can't wait till the AI videos start coming out.
I was trying to avoid saying AI, but I'm like, I could see it happening as well. I could just, oh my God, this is my favorite story I've read today. This is probably my favorite story.
It's
getting my creative juices flowing right now. Like, I really want them to self-report some NIL violations. Please do it.
That'd be incredible. And LSU is a good football program. I wouldn't say they're great. I wouldn't say they're blue blood, but there is always something going on with LSU. It's whether it's as innocent as Ed Orgeron getting divorced and sleeping his way through Baton Rouge, or if it's as serious as stealing money from a children's hospital or whatever the hell Les Miles was doing. It's a spectrum of how bad it is. And unfortunately, Brian Kelly is not meeting the threshold of badness for LSU's purposes. I'm not saying
he is on the field, but he's not meeting it off the field because he's such a square. He doesn't really do any of this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
he just makes fake accents and gets grad assistants in peril.
Do you think they could argue that that accent was offensive to the Cajun community, and that's why they had to fire him 3 years after he did it?
I mean, in 2020, maybe. Not now. Nobody cares anymore.
Yeah, no, it's
PC has gone the way of the Pac-12, man.
I'm loving this, by the way. I hate LSU and I hate Brian Kelly. So I hate the fact that Brian Kelly is $54 million richer just for being bad at his job.
They'll find a way. I'm telling you, self-report, NIL violations. It'll solve all your problems.
LSU, leadership at LSU is so incompetent with firing an AD, then bringing an interim, but not saying he's the AD, but then say he is, but then say actually no, he's not, to then the governor getting involved. LSU is so incompetent, they would probably report some stuff so bad that they made up and get the death penalty.
Can I just say, I was waiting for John Kennedy to get involved here, with the funniest politicians in America. He's from Louisiana. Why can't he get involved in this situation at this point? I want his commentary now. Holy crap. This is just soap opera for no reason.
Yeah, no, this is bad. LSU fans, admins, students, alumni, Brian Kelly, they should all be embarrassed.
Remember we were talking about how dominant LSU was in 2019. They were the darling program and now
it's hilarious. I love it. I'm loving every minute of it. Can't wait to see what LSU does to make the news next. But I don't know why I've been doing this all season. I'm just keeping this episode conference by conference. Really should have just been doing that for the past 4 years. Don't know why. But we're going to stay in the SEC as Steve Sarkisian and Lane Kiffin might have a little spat. It's probably not that serious, but Lane Kiffin told ESPN, in my opinion, the dynasties are over. Alabama with Saban and then Kirby at Georgia. Where they had those rosters year in, year out, and there would be a bunch of wins by 30 points in the conference, those days are done. They're really good teams. You're going to go 8-4. Kind of went on about Texas and Oklahoma. And Sarkisian just said Lane says a lot. Which, yeah, Lane's a yapper.
You know what the funniest thing is, though? He's not off, right? For the few rare players who would stay around, the issue is right now with NIL, you really have to be just a great recruiter, a great NIL recruiter, high school recruiter, but then also be able to retain your players. And he's not wrong. The length to go to so what made Alabama so dominant, right, is there was the transfer rule where you could not transfer right away. You had to wait a year to get and then there were obviously some exceptions to the rules, but Saban had a culture that was so unique to college football. Everyone bought in. You had guys who didn't start till their senior year and then came in and dominated. If they went to Miami, Louisville, Cal, Texas Tech, whatever, right, they would own wherever they were. But they stayed at Alabama because they wanted the national title. They wanted that branding on their draft card. It made sense under Saban. I'm sort of inclined to agree with old Joey Freshwater here. I'm a little I kind of think he's on to something a little bit. I think his point's a little off. I think it comes from a little bit of pettiness, but he's not wrong.
I don't disagree with you. I think dynasties as we thought of them are dead. I don't think it's going to be this school's going on a 10-year run where nobody's really been able to compete with them year in, year out. But it's also not going to be this great era of parity where the little guy's getting a chance like people are arguing. It's not going to be one dynasty. It's going to be your Georgias, your Ohio States, your Alabamas just winning every year. They're going to be trading off. And some schools are going to get better quicker because of it. Those schools are not going to be your Mississippi States. It's going to be USC's back, Stanford's back, Oregon's winning. It's going to just be the schools that we already know historically have been good are good again quicker because they have famous former athletes and other alumni who will just pump money into the school. And also Miami will be in there. I did not mention Miami, but I did.
I was not going to give you crap for it. I know you meant them. It's okay.
Yeah, A-Rod will give them money, and they'll get
the Rock,
a 5-star.
And I think there's one of the also the Rock's wife, who's a Miami alumni, which I thought was crazy. I didn't even know that. Ex-wife.
Good for them.
Yeah, Denny Garcia.
Yeah, maybe she won't want to give money then. Maybe.
No, they're business partners. They're business partners. They're fine.
That's wild.
I know, right? The Rock's just an odd dude.
Yeah, that's true. Lane also advocated for return of the BCS system. Basically, he said it can't be these people deciding who gets to the playoffs. We've got to get back to analytics and computers. Baseball and basketball have the RPI where they take into account margin of victory, who you play, when you play, like things like that. I have been saying for years, the BCS wasn't necessarily an issue. People didn't like the fact that it was only 2 teams.
A BCS 6-team or 8-team playoff? I'm down. That sounds lit to me. I'm with it.
I'd be great with that. I'd also be great if they just said, hey, we're good with the BCS. We're going to expand the field a little bit, and we're going to take other things into account. We're going to have a committee, but it's going to be both of those. So it's not going to be a committee.
Not 2000 where Miami clearly was a better team over Oklahoma because the computer flipped them 3 or 4 times. It was like, or maybe even 4. Yeah, but yeah, I see your point though.
It's both. You get both in there, and then they hash it out. The machine fights the committee. Whoever walks out of the room, that's who plays. But no, I don't like the idea of a committee in a locked room picking who's going to be in the playoffs. Now, I've been a team that has benefited from that super secret committee, but I still don't like it at my core. It gives me a bad feeling. Like, Alabama fans, a lot of them don't care, but part of me was like, I don't feel great about that. I mean, obviously they were one of the best teams in the country because they did go on to win the Natty, but I wish there was a better way to figure that out.
No, I completely agree. As a team who's been hosed by this committee already, kind of just like, okay.
Yeah, it's not great. The committee did come out with their rankings today, so we'll go through that momentarily, but 2 quick hitters for schools that we don't really care about anymore or never did. Colorado Buffalo, Deion Sanders, not doing well. They've had a losing season 2 out of the last 3 years. Is it time for prime time to end in Boulder?
I mean, it was fun. Like, it was a kind of a fun circus those first 2 years when his kids were there. Now none of us just really don't care. Like, there's a couple TikTok creators I follow that they'll cover Prime and cover his thing. It's like, we still care about this? They're terrible. Like they're not even, it's not even like they're fun. There's no personalities in this team. They got that crazy quarterback from Liberty or whatever, and he's been And like then you throw in like they got the number 1 quarterback recruit for how long? When does he transfer to like Georgia or Miami or like Florida, one of the schools he looked at before he went to Colorado? Like this isn't like a few years ago where you could kind of lock a player in for 3 or 4 years at your schools. Like now it's like, dude, you mess up this bad, you let Prime go, it's gone. But like, I don't think there's an upside here. I don't see this getting better.
I think from a Colorado perspective, with Deion Sanders, and I don't want to call them antics, but he's a big personality. He's going to make news with whatever he says. To put up with that attention, it either has to be really entertaining and the team has to be entertaining, or you have to be winning games. And they're not winning games. And as you said, nobody on the team's really that interesting. I do think it might be time to start looking elsewhere. And also, though, admitting Colorado was terrible.
Yeah,
From
they had good scheduling and they won close games.
That was like a high point though. They were 1-11 the year before he got there.
Yeah.
And if it was a normal coach that did not have this media attention, I'm sure they wouldn't care. They'd be like, "Hey, we're being competitive, so that's all that matters." But it's not great.
I just finally the rankings. It's a joke. But it's okay.
Yeah, we'll get into that after we talk about the team we all care about, Missouri State.
Oh, yeah.
The State Bears are petitioning the NCAA for a bowl waiver as this is their first year at the FBS level. They are bowl eligible based on their wins. However, during the transfer from FCS to FBS, there's a prohibition on playing in the postseason. I don't know why I couldn't talk. Missouri State has reached 6 wins. They are 6-3, and they want to play in a bowl game. Jared, thoughts on Missouri State trying to get bowl eligible?
I hate the whole the delay on allowing these teams to play in a bowl game. I think it's stupid. I think the biggest issue, like to me, is like, I don't get the point of it. I don't really get where the upside is for making them wait. Like it's like oh, they have to wait their turns. Like, but if they're kicking everybody's butt, who cares? Like it's like if they're 6-3, they finished the season 9-3, and they got to sit there and wait to go to a bowl game. It's kind of pathetic. But then again, nothing in NCAA ever makes sense. So.
Yeah, I think part of it is you want to give the spots to schools who have been at the FBS level for a while. If it was potentially a school that maybe hasn't made a bowl game and they've been at the FBS level for a couple of years, I think it's also if there's a historically good program on a down year, you don't want to see a school jump from FCS to FBS and beat them in a bowl game. I think that's a big part of it. I think these conferences especially, but the NCAA, because it's what the conferences want, don't want to see their prior Golden Boys lose to an FCS plucky upstart.
True. I mean, but also then again, the fans do. But then again, it's like, oh, it's all about the tradition, right? So,
yeah, I think it's a dumb rule. I think, look, if you say we're going to be in the FBS, we're going to join a conference, they're in Conference USA, you're in the FBS, you should be bowl eligible. But those are just 2 quick hitters. We are going to talk about the rankings, Jared. And before that, I'm just going to refresh this page to make sure. Okay. The Cincinnati logo was not loading on my screen earlier. Like it was a broken link, which is hilarious. Just kind of really how Cincinnati has been the last couple of years. They're not terrible, but they're okay. And that's why they're ranked 25th in this week's rankings. South Florida is at 24, Tennessee's at 23, Pitt is at 22, and Iowa is at 21. Jared, do you have any thoughts on the bottom 5?
Nope. Love South Florida's getting some recognition again. They were a fun team. They were honestly pretty cool to watch when they beat Florida. Gave us a run for about a quarter and a half. They're a fun team. They have a fun program. Their coach is going to be one of the hottest names on the market this offseason. Love it. I mean, we have Iowa's random end of the year, mid-20s appearance. So good to see Iowa keeping up the traditions. Pitt, Tennessee, South Florida. It's all teams to me that might change out in a week. That's why I don't really. Once you get into like the 20s, that like below the 20s, that's like okay, now these are real teams.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how high Iowa will get if they go 2-1 to reach the prophesized 8-4 that Iowa just perpetually is.
They're the Pittsburgh Steelers of winning barely.
Yeah, and that's why their jerseys match. Also, that Memphis loss could have killed South Florida, so I'm glad they're still in the rankings, or they're in the rankings at all.
Then didn't Memphis but then Memphis just got taken out by Tulane? They just lost. I believe
so.
Yeah. So, the whole conference is
Tulane. Yeah. But moving on to, we'll go 20-16. Louisville sitting at 20, Virginia at 19, Michigan at 18, Southern Cal at 17. I don't like how they don't say USC because I just read and don't pay attention. I'm like Ron Burgundy with this. And then Georgia Tech at 16. Georgia Tech is 8-1. I understand they lost recently, but I feel like they've played so well, having them below I'm sorry, Jared. A 2-loss Miami team, a 2-loss Vandy team, a 2-loss Utah team. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not a fan.
Yeah. Here's the kicker to me, and I've been saying this for years. The ACC hates the ACC. The CFP committee hates the ACC. I hate the ACC. The country hates the ACC. So, with that being in mind, the most hilarious fact is that 2-loss Miami with 2 conference losses is the highest ranked team. I get it. Name brand recognition, blue blood program. They'll get the benefit of the doubt over Georgia Tech, who basically has had a couple like fluky years, and that's basically it. But I would take Georgia Tech and Miami over Vandy, BYU, or Utah and bump those 2 teams up to, I didn't need to spoil the rankings, but to 12 and 13 should be Miami and Georgia Tech. Pick whatever your order you want. Because honestly, this top 25 isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I don't know how Oregon's still in the top 10. My brain's hurting trying to comprehend that one, and I can't wait to talk about it, but my brain hurts trying to think about that. But
they have pretty jerseys. But no, the rankings, even the AP poll this year hasn't been terrible. I have not screamed about anything so far. It has been great, other than Notre Dame being overranked all year. But other than that, it's been okay.
Par for the course,
which is better than you can say for most years, though. Moving on, number 15, Jared's Miami Hurricanes. Number 14, Vandy. Number 13, Utah. Number 12, BYU. And number 11, Oklahoma. Jared, the floor is yours. What do you want to talk about?
You know what? Listen, I'm okay with listen. Miami should be in the teens, but they should be at 12 or 13, not 15, 16, whatever it is. I think them and Georgia Tech are getting criminally underrated here. Virginia's loss, honestly, was kind of sadder to me than Georgia Tech's was. Vandy, same. Listen, I'm done with the Diego Pavia experiment. They basically survived in a lot of these games. So, I mean, besides Miami and Georgia Tech should be up around Oklahoma, Texas. I have no real issue with this. I already expelled my grievances, I guess.
That's fair. I just want to make sure. Also, this is going to be mean, Jared. I just want to point out, you said Miami should be in the teens. They should be.
I heard you. I heard it. I said it. You know what I meant. It was
I just thought it was funny. The fact, if you said 13, maybe even 12, I would have ignored. But the fact you said they're in the teens, 12. All right. Sorry, I had to bring it up. Moving on. We'll just rattle through the top 10. Actually, no, we're not, because I have thoughts. Texas at number 10. Notre Dame at number 9. Oregon at number 8. Ole Miss at number 7. Texas Tech at number 6. Notre Dame is not a top 10 team. I don't care how they played. They lost to Miami, who's good, and they lost a bad game later on. Or not bad, but not good. They should not be top 10. Oregon, who have they played?
Nobody.
Is that their best win?
I think their best win is Penn State.
No, that's not good. Other years that would be, but for this year,
I guess their best win is Iowa, right?
I would say Iowa.
Yeah, I think Iowa is their best win then, but that's not good. Miami's best wins are Notre Dame, South Florida. I'm not. My brain's trying to comprehend the stupidity right now.
Yeah, but reminder: Penn State was good, or was not complete dog shit when they played Oregon.
Feels like ancient history. I love seeing Penn State this down. Sorry, your boy. I know I love my boy Kieran, but I love seeing Penn State just dismantle itself in the national media. It's just righteous.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm sure you love that. 2011, 2009 season, I think it was. That was 2011. That 2011 season, Jared. I'm sure you love that.
I haven't made 1,000 jokes about that at Penn State's expense. No, never. It's not a joking matter what happened that season. Joking on how Penn State disintegrated for the awful things they did, that's what was funny.
Yes, thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
That is also what I was referring to, not the horrific crimes.
The horrific. What we were making fun of was the fact that Penn State had this aura of being uppity, kind of like a country club kind of like affair for the Northeast, like the premier Northeastern up at like kind of almost an Ivy level school of prestige. And then they're doing this, and all they're in also, by the way, if you live in the Northeast, you realize most Penn State fans are insufferable, like I do. So
Yeah, I found like the one not completely.
yeah,
one.
your co-host is the one Penn State fan who I'm like, I like you. It doesn't make me hate your team completely.
Yeah,
I get that about my Philadelphia Eagles, apparently. So, like,
that's fair.
well, I mean, Kevin, I could say this about you and Boston sports because you make me hate Boston sports, but my lady does it. So there you go.
Well, I'm not going to make the comment I was thinking of making.
You can make it off air. I might kick you, but I'm debating myself.
I also think it's funny. Texas all year is like, oh, they're so bad. Arch Manning's overhyped, which I was saying for years. And they're ranked. It's weird. I'm not saying they shouldn't be ranked 10. They've turned the season around.
The wins aren't bad though. It's like they're kind of like they should be in the top 15, but like they should be like 13 or 14. I used teams this time. See what I did there?
I'm proud of you. You're learning. You're learning English at the young age of 30. Moving on to the top 5, the schools we all expected to be here at the start of the season: Georgia at number 5, Alabama at number 4, Texas A&M at number 3, Indiana at number 2. We all saw this coming, and Ohio State at number 1 still. Those 4 spots, there's been a lot of talk, Jared, about is that the right order? I think the teams are right, but do you think 1, 2, 3, 4 as it sits is good, or is how it should be?
You know what the weird thing about this ranking is? Like, I don't hate any team's position at this point because, listen, nobody's touched Ohio State. This is like Georgia in the second year where they won the damn thing, where you're just kind of just like look at them like, ooh, like that, ooh, or one of the times you guys went back to back or close to it, right? Like where it's, I think it was 2012. I think it's about 2012. I think that's the year I'm thinking of. It's
Yeah.
like, it's like 2012. I'm like, yeah, nobody's touching them. They're just gonna run it. I'm not saying Ohio State's gonna win the national title, but like, you're just kind of like there. Listen, until they lose, and as much as I hate Kirk Cignetti, they still get the benefit of the doubt. Same thing with A&M. Like A&M's playing out of their damn minds. They may be a cult, but they're a cult with resources and a cult that's winning football games.
Agree. I think Ohio State is always going to get the benefit of the doubt, right or wrong. They were ranked highly to start the year. They're going to be ranked highly just because they keep winning. They do have a top 10 win. They are running through teams. They are winning the games they should be winning convincingly, which really is a mark of a good team. If there are no heart attacks going on in these easy games, Indiana, Kurt Cignetti annoys me sometimes with the things he says, but they are 10-0. They are winning against good competition. And outside of the Penn State game,
Oregon looks worse and worse every week, though, eye test wise.
Yeah, last week's Penn State game also doesn't look great, needing a last-second touchdown to score it. But these are the games historically Indiana loses. They have a shocking game where they play really well, and then they lose at the end. So they're buttoning that up, so I think they should be good. But I think they're in a similar boat to Texas A&M. Everyone's waiting for that other shoe to drop based on historically what they have done. Texas A&M has always found a way to mess it up at the end. Indiana has found a way to never get it going at any point. So we're waiting for them to kind of return to what we expect. But I think 2 and 3 is good. I don't know if we'll see that until we reach the playoffs, and then who knows what happened. And Alabama figured it out after the Florida State loss. Thank God.
Yeah, I got to give your boy Simpson some props, man. I was like sitting there like, is Bama, like, are they going to fire like Kalen DeBoer? Like, what is happening? And listen, shout out to, I can't remember the content creator's name, but he's like the skits where he's Nick Saban just randomly showed up at Kalen DeBoer's office. He's going to whoop his ass. Like, he's giving him all this shit. And I love that Alabama's just kind of just risen above it, and they're a top 5 team, and they're playing like Bama again. Now, are they going to be the Bama under Saban? No. That's Nick Saban's Bama team, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They look like they're playing well, and Simpson's a Heisman candidate. He might be an outside shot, but still. So Gotta give love to Clemson, and I didn't think Bama. And then Georgia's Georgia. Like, they're not bad. Like, Gunnar Stockton's looking okay. Like, shout out to a friend of the show, Erica Renee Davis, and her Bulldogs. They're kicking butt.
Yeah, I still don't like Georgia. But there you have it. The college football playoff rankings for week 11. Now we're going to get into our bets. First, we're going to go through our bets last week with DJ. We both had A&M over Mizzou last week, so that was a dub. We're both starting off 1-1. I had Purdue plus 29.5 versus Ohio State. If you see a spread that you're like, that's crazy high, take the underdog to cover. Purdue still lost by 24, but they covered. Jeremy Bernard, first touchdown scorer against LSU. No, Jam Miller, who I think I took 2 weeks ago to be first touchdown scorer, did not hit. But Jeremy Bernard, no dice, so I go 2 for 3. DJ, his spread, Tech, 9.5, minus 9.5 at BYU. Dub there. And he had Oregon, Iowa over 41.5, and they scored 34. Shocking, Oregon just did not put up points, regardless of how good Iowa's defense is. But, so 2 for 3 for both of us. That might be our best combined week of the year. And before we get into our week 11 bets, we're going to do Kiernan's weather report, hosted by Kev, because Kiernan is not here. Honestly, some rain across the country, across the South, really, but nothing too crazy. Pacific Northwest looks like it might get hammered, though. 74% chance of rain, 5.4 miles per hour wind. So not crazy winds, but that rain is going to be brutal in some of these games. And yeah, it's a little bit in the Midwest too, but nothing crazy. So Pacific Northwest, maybe keep an eye off of the passing game. Look at the run a little bit more for some of those bets. But yeah, so there you have it. Moving on to our week 11 bets. Kiernan does the weather way better than me. He does a little bit more in depth, but I look quickly. So
it was snowing in Connecticut today, so I'm like,
oh, I saw it snowing outside the window at work today.
I was outside doing like yard work, and I was like, this is kind of nice. I'm enjoying this.
Nah, I hate winter. But for those who have not watched the show before, bets, we each pick 3, a money line, a spread, and a miscellaneous. Your miscellaneous pick can be whatever you want. It can be another spread, another money line, and we can agree. We can both have the same pick. That is fine. We do not this week, but that is something we can do. So, first up, my money line. I have BYU over TCU at minus 185. I think BYU, even though they did lose Texas Tech, I still think they're a good team, and I don't know if I trust TCU. So, Jared, who you got for your money line?
I'm going with your Tide, man. Listen, I am not a big fan of Oklahoma and what their offense has turned into. I think they've been basically hoping Sean Meters fall apart completely. And the fact they use him more as a running quarterback still, even though this man is a great. I think the Brent Venables defense won't be able to hold up Alabama forever, and I don't think he'll be able to score enough points against that defense on the other side of the ball to keep up with Bama's offense, even if they're stifled for a little bit by Venables. So I think this is the same. It may it may be less than a 6-point game, but at minus 108, it's a layup for a money line to me.
That's fair. Yeah. I don't bet on Bama just out of principle because I'll either get in my head and think, oh God, this team's terrible, or I'll think this team's the greatest team ever and it won't go well. Who's your spread?
Spread is Texas plus 6 at minus 110. The issue for me with this game against Georgia is Georgia's not had a hard schedule, but they haven't really had any big contender games in a while, and Texas is getting hot. Now, do I think Texas is going to win? Probably not. I think this is going to come down to like the final couple minutes, and Georgia will outlast them. They have a better, more complete team. But the way Archie's been slinging the ball around, I think it's a safe bet to get after this. I think this is a good one for, especially if you want to build like maybe a 3 or 4 game parlay. It's not the worst idea in the world to throw this one in there.
That's fair. My spread, and this is, again, just going back to my philosophy of if you see a crazy high spread, take the underdog to cover. I don't feel great about it with a Josh Heupel offense because, buddy, they can score some points. But I have New Mexico State plus 40.5 versus Tennessee. I could see Tennessee easily winning this game 40-0. But guys, you know what? If Tennessee wins 40-0, New Mexico State's still covered. So give me the Aggies to cover.
My backup was Wisconsin to cover over what's it called, the Indiana, because it was 29.5 when I checked this morning.
I saw that. I'm like, wait, Luke Fickell sucks, which we'll get into in our next segment after this. And then my miscellaneous, I did a couple weeks ago with Blake Horvath. Haynes King anytime touchdown. It's minus 650. It's free money.
I was gonna go with an anytime touchdown, like maybe give me like a Malachi Tony one, but I was like, you know what? I think this is the Miami team that is gonna win out. They're just gonna get smoked in the playoff. Or hey, listen, I'd love to be proven wrong, but I look at this as a win-win. If Miami wins out at minus 650, they gotta win this game against NC State. To me, it's like this is like your safety bet. You always throw in like one little fastball. It's right down the pipe here. Miami's got to win or they're done. With their loss, their season's over. They might as well just pack it in. So I'll Mario, for the sake of his job, they went out. So this is the first step in it's the first domino to fall.
Hey, and also if he can get through November, December to make the playoffs, who knows what could happen? We have not seen that yet. So
I haven't seen
maybe
playoff
he'll turn it
on.
on. Just quick recap though. My money line, I have BYU over TCU. My spread, I have New Mexico State plus 40.5 versus Tennessee, and Haynes King anytime touchdown. Jared has Bama money line, Texas plus 6.5 versus Georgia, and Miami money line. Let us know on social media your bets this weekend, and also let us know if we're idiots and we're just not gonna get any money. But without further ado, it's America's favorite segment, Jared. It's Luke Fickell's shopping list. Now, for those, again, who have not seen, initially this segment was called Shit Luke Fickell Could Buy. I decided to clean it up a little bit, and I feel like I say every week what it used to be called, so it's not really cleaning it up, but it's fine. I go through his buyout, and I find some stuff he could buy with his $25 million buyouts. And usually I kind of do something about the team they're playing, something about Wisconsin. This week, Wisconsin is playing Indiana, Indianapolis. A lot of great things out there, like Pat McAfee. Luke Fickell, with his $25 million, could buy 1.72 Pat McAfees if we're going off of his NFL career earnings of $14.5 million. Same logic here. You could buy roughly one Larry Bird with his 24 million NBA earnings and still have $1 million left over. So that's nice for Luke. He's playing Kurt Signetti, affectionately called Sig by his fans. Luke Fickell could buy 2,329,916 packs of cigarettes. Did you know Johnny Appleseed is allegedly from Indiana, Jared?
That sounds about right.
That's it, or at least there was someone who lived there who owned a bunch of apple orchards. And Luke Fickell could buy 34,246,575 apples with his $25 million buyouts. And the Gales of November came early. It is 50 years since the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Luke Fickell could buy 3 of them. It cost $8 million in 1958 to build the Edmund Fitzgerald, and 3 of them with $1 million left over. Crazy. Larry Bird is worth 3 Edmund Fitzgeralds as well. And another fun fact, it left some mill in Wisconsin, as Gordon Lightfoot put it, on its final voyage. So there's another tie-in with the Edmund Fitzgerald and Wisconsin. And finally, Indianapolis IndyCar. Luke Fickell could buy about 1 2/3 Indy cars. So there you have it. Luke Fickell's shopping list, which I am getting more. I'm having more and more fun with this every week because I know it's coming to an end soon because there's no way Luke Fickell keeps his job much longer.
No. I think at this point they're just trying to see, because they have one more year left on his deal, right, after this year?
I hope it's more than that because I cannot imagine paying Luke Fickell almost $25 million a year.
Like the buy it's probably 3 years left then.
Yes. So he signed a 7-year deal. No, it's 5 years left. He signed a 7-year deal in 2023. That's brutal, Wisconsin.
This is what you call swing and a miss right here.
Yeah, not great. But, Jared, anything else you want to touch on before we get on out of here?
Honestly, I no. there was a rumor of this going around this week. Tom McShay was the one who kind of broke it open a little bit, talking apparently how a certain quarterback from a certain SEC school with a funny nickname that I may have a personal connection to, their quarterback going to be transferring. He's not going to the draft because his stock's tanked so bad. And there's a certain team from South Florida with a certain coach with a weird buzz cut that is going to throw a Brinks trucker 4 at him. And to say this, Kevin, I will say this only. If Sellers becomes a Miami Hurricane, I will do cartwheels spinning in the grass like a little Disney princess and probably Stone Cold Steve Austin about 4 or 5 beers. I'm with it.
I have a question though. Are you not out on SEC quarterbacks after the Carson Beck experience?
Well, here's the deal. Listen, Carson Beck could still fight in some freakazoid way just because how much you, Kelsey, and Cruz have hated on him on my show. He might go out and win the damn national title. I don't know. It's still we still haven't seen the playoff yet. Even if he wins us wins us a bowl game or wins us a playoff game, and then we get smoked the week after, I still call that a successful season. So, but if we get Sellers, who is a freak, and we pair him with like a Malachi Tony and JoJo Trader and Jordan Lyle and all those young talent, Elijah Loftons, the world, all the young guys Miami's bringing up. I mean, with Shannon Dawson coaching him, he actually might turn into a decent quarterback. So I'm like, I'm willing to gamble on it. Let's put it that way.
Oh, I think every school in the country that needs a quarterback should be trying to get Lenore Sellers if he hits the portal. I'm just asking from your personal experience. It's not a knock on Sellers.
Well,
it's going to be a quarterback market. You're going to have Sellers. You're going to have Lagway. It's going to be interesting.
Imagine Lagway going to Miami.
That'd be hilarious.
I mean, and watch, he turns around and becomes like a Heisman favorite. It was just Billy Napier being a moron.
Oh, Lagway's going to look great wherever he goes. It's just Billy Napier and Florida's fault.
I think we need to bring back. Who's no, I'm not going to talk about the shark boy.
All right, well, that's our show. So, Jared, why don't you tell people where they can find you and the Corner Booth?
You can find me and the crew at All Things Corner Booth Pod. That's Instagram. That's X. We don't do Threads anymore because it's a useless app. TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, even all of it. We try to just post clips every day. Also, we do live shows on Mondays and Thursdays, generally 7 or 6:30 for about an hour and 15, hour and a half. And we got a show coming up on Thursday. It'll be our 7-year anniversary, which is gonna be a fun time. Me and the boys are all wearing suits.
7 years.
7 years, 2018, brother.
Jesus.
Fun fact, kids, Kevin was my co-host for 4 of those years.
Yeah, I was. It was a fun 4 years. Then I decided I wanted to talk about only college football all the time, so I started this.
Yep. Has me on
And
once.
mess with you. Yeah, I got to do better about getting guests on. Like whenever I have Kieran, I'm just like, oh, it's just me and Kieran. That's fine. But no, I think it'd be better if I got multiple people on once in a while.
I mean, I'm in a weird position. I do the show twice a week, so it's like this is by the second show. I'm like, all right, I'm done looking at these 2 other guys. Let's get some fun people in here. So,
yeah, part of my issue is I'm also just busy. So I am very bad about getting on other people's shows. So I feel bad asking other people to come on.
Really, you can't get on other people's shows? It's a shocker to me, man.
Jared asks me at least once a month generally, and I am just always busy on Mondays or Thursdays.
I'm more shocked when he says yes. That's the scary part. He goes, I can hop on for 15 to 30. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's something I gotta be better at. I gotta figure out how to organize my time a little better, but it's fine.
It's okay, buddy. I'm learning too. It's not fun.
It's not, but it's called being an adult. All right, everyone. Have a good, safe, fun rest of your week. Make good decisions.
Except you, Fran Brown.
Don't drink too much. Okay, yeah, except for you, Fran Brown. And I guess now we got beef with Syracuse coach. Don't drink too much. And if you do, don't drive. Check out the Corner Booth on Mondays and Thursdays. It's always a fun time. And yeah, thanks for stopping in.
They're eating the dogs, Kieran, in Tuscaloosa.
They're eating the
You know
dogs.
that?
They were
They're
eating the
the
dog.
dogs.
Oh, a meth raccoon.
Yeah.
Just awful. There is nothing good about this. It's the worst possible scenario for the CFP, for the national championship.
Notre Dame is a mid-program with really good marketing.
And the Michigan players are going to look at that, and anybody who's committing to Michigan in the next years and just go, I want to beat them even more. Like, I wanted to beat them when I first came to this school. Recruits are going to see this.
You have, as some fans have put it, a mascot flashing their pop tussie out.
Oh, God, that's going to be part of our intro next year. Oh,